about the 5-factor personality model and will be trying to finish off trait approach of leadership. So the 5-factor model of personality, also known as the Big 5 personality traits, is a widely accepted framework in psychology that describes 5 fundamental dimensions of personality. First one being openness to experience, conscientiousness, extraversion, neuroticism. Right, so let us move on one by one. So first being openness to experience. This trait reflects a person's inclination towards new ideas, curiosity, imagination, and willingness to explore unconventional approaches. Leaders high in openness are often creative, innovative, and adaptable, which can be beneficial in dynamic and changing environments. So, coming to conscientiousness, it refers to the degree to which a person is organized, responsible, dependable, and goal oriented. Leaders high in conscientiousness tend to be diligent, detail oriented, and focused on achieving objectives. They are often seen as reliable and effective in planning and executing tasks. Coming to extraversion. So, extraversion represents the extent to which a person is outgoing, sociable, assertive, and energetic. Leaders high in extraversion are often charismatic, confident, and assertive. They enjoy interacting with others. They are comfortable in social settings and can inspire and motivate their team members. Agreeableness. So it refers to a person's tendency to be cooperative, compassionate, trusting, and empathetic. Leaders high in agreeableness are often supportive, nurturing, and skilled in building harmonious relationships. They prioritize teamwork, value the opinions of others, and are adept at resolving conflicts. Neuroticism, sometimes which is also referred to as emotional stability. It relates to a person's emotional stability, resilience, and ability to handle stress. Leaders low in neuroticism are often calm, composed, and optimistic. They are less prone to anxiety, mood swings, and stress also. When it comes to leadership, the 5-factor model of personality provides insights into the traits and characteristics that can contribute to effective leadership. However, it's important to note that there is no specific ideal personality profile for a leader. Different situations and contexts may require different combinations of personality traits. That being said, research suggests that certain traits are more commonly associated with effective leadership. For instance, extraversion and conscientiousness have been found to be positively correlated with leadership emergence and effectiveness. Extraverted leaders tend to be more comfortable in social interactions, while conscientious leaders are often diligent in their responsibilities and focused on achieving goals. However, other traits are also important. Openness to experience can help leaders think outside the box and adapt to new challenges. Agreeableness can facilitate positive relationships with team members and promote collaboration. Neuroticism, although typically seen as less desirable for leadership roles, can be advantageous in situations where high levels of caution and attention to detail are required. Next being, how does the trait approach work? The trait approach is a psychological perspective that focuses on identifying and measuring individual personality traits to understand and explain human behavior. It assumes that people possess certain enduring traits that remain relatively stable over time and across various situations. These traits are believed to influence how individuals think, feel, and behave. Here's how the trait approach generally works. The first one being trait identification. Researchers use different methods such as self-report questionnaires, interviews, and behavioral observations to identify and describe specific traits. Traits are typically defined as consistent patterns of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Next being the trait measurement. Various instruments such as personality inventories or questionnaires are used to measure and quantify individual traits. These assessments typically ask individuals to rate themselves or others on a series of statements or questions related to different trait dimensions. The next being trait classification. Traits are often organized into trait taxonomies or models. One well-known model is the Big Five model, which identifies five broad dimensions of personality: openness to experience, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Other models, such as the MBTI, categorize individuals into specific personality types based on various trait combinations. Trait prediction and explanation. The trait approach aims to predict and explain behavior based on the identified traits. So, researchers examine how specific traits relate to various outcomes such as job performance, relationship satisfaction, or psychological well being. By understanding an individual's trait profile, researchers can make inferences about their behavior and preferences in different contexts. Trait development. The trait approach also investigates the development of traits over time. It examines how traits emerge and change across the lifespan and explores the influence of genetic and environmental factors on trait development. Strengths of trait approach. So, the trait approach is a popular perspective in psychology that focuses on identifying and measuring individual traits or characteristics to understand and predict behavior. The strength of the trait approach lies in several key areas. First one being the predictive power. The trait theories are often successful in predicting behavior across various situations and contexts. Next is the stability. Traits are generally considered to be relatively stable over time, meaning that they persist across different situations and remain relatively consistent throughout an individual's life. This allows for long-term predictions and assessment of an individual's behavior and tendencies. Next being the generalizability. Trait theories aim to identify broad and universal characteristics that apply to people across cultures and demographics. While there may be some cultural variations in the expression of traits, many traits such as extraversion, agreeableness, and conscientiousness are found across different cultures. Next is the descriptive power. Trait theories provide a descriptive framework for understanding individual differences. By identifying and measuring traits, researchers can describe and categorize individuals based on their unique combination of traits. This descriptive power can be useful in various fields, including personality assessment, organization psychology, and clinical psychology. Next is for the research purpose. So, the trait approach has a substantial body of empirical research supporting its validity and utility. Researchers have developed reliable and valid measures of various traits, and studies consistently demonstrate the predictive power of traits in understanding behavior and outcomes. Next is the criticism of trait approach. So, some of the main criticism are it lacks explanation. There is lack of explanation. One of the primary criticisms of the trait approach is that it focuses primarily on describing and measuring individual traits without providing a comprehensive explanation for why those traits exist or how they develop. The approach does not delve deeply into the underlying psychological processes or environmental influences that contribute to the formation and expression of traits. Situational factors. The trait approach tends to overlook the impact of situational factors on behavior. It assumes that individuals' behavior will be consistent across different situations, disregarding the influence of external circumstances. After the situational factors, there is a lack of contextual understanding. Traits are often treated as isolated characteristics detached from the broader social, cultural, and historical context in which the individuals exist. So, this approach fails to consider how cultural norms, social roles, and environmental factors can shape and influence behavior. So, traits can manifest and be interpreted differently in various cultural or social settings. But the trait approach tends to overlook these approaches. and also it has overemphasis on measurement. So what does that mean? Well, measurement of traits is a fundamental aspect of the trait approach. Critics argue that it may oversimplify the complexity of human behavior. Reducing individuals to a set of trait scores may not fully capture the richness and multidimensionality of personality. Additionally, the reliability and validity of trait measurement tools can be a subject of debate, as subjective biases and situational influences may affect the accuracy of trait assessments. Lack of developmental perspective. The trait approach often assumes that traits are relatively stable across a lifespan, neglecting the potential for personality development and change. Research suggests that personality can undergo significant transformations in response to life experiences, personal growth, and other developmental factors. Next, coming to the application of trait approach. So, what are the different areas of application? So, coming to the application, first it can be applied in personality assessment. The trait approach is widely used in personality psychology to assess and measure individual differences in personality traits. So, psychologists and researchers use trait-based assessments such as questionnaires or inventories to evaluate traits such as extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, and openness to experience. And then also it can be used in leadership development. So, what does that mean? The trait approach is often applied in the context of leadership development and assessment. By identifying and measuring specific leadership traits, organizations can assess the potential for effective leadership, team composition, and collaboration. So, what does it mean? The trait approach can be used to create diverse and complementary teams. By considering the different traits and strengths of team members, organizations can assemble teams that balance skills, personalities, and work styles. Organizational behavior and job fit. Understanding individual traits can inform organizational behavior and job fit. By considering the traits that are relevant to specific job roles, organizations can make better informed hiring decisions, assign individuals to suitable positions, and predict job performance. It can also be used in personality development and self-awareness. It can be used for both, because individuals can assess their own personality traits and understand their strengths, weaknesses, and areas for growth. So this self-awareness can be valuable for personal and professional growth, also for decision making and interpersonal relationships. Psychological research. The trait approach provides a framework for conducting research on individual differences and their impact on behavior, cognition, and outcomes. Researchers can investigate the relationship between specific traits and various psychological phenomena such as academic achievement, job satisfaction, mental health, and relationship satisfaction. Coming to the case study involving the trait approach in leadership. So, ABC Corporation is a multinational company operating in the technology sector. The company has recently experienced a decline in employee morale and productivity. So, to address these issues, the company hires an external consultant to assess the leadership qualities and effectiveness of its senior management team. So, how does it approach? The consultant utilizes the trait approach to evaluate the leadership traits of the senior management team. They administer a validated leadership trait assessment such as a LTQ questionnaire to each leader. It assesses traits such as extraversion, conscientiousness, emotional intelligence, and openness. So when they found out, when they did the study through questionnaire, they found out that leaders possess low extraversion, high conscientiousness, moderate emotional intelligence, moderate openness, and this was the outcome and conclusion. The organization implements the recommended initiatives and provides ongoing support and training to the senior management team. Over time, the leaders demonstrate improved communication, adaptability, empathy, and innovative thinking. To conclude, this case study highlights the practical implication of the trait approach in assessing leadership qualities and providing targeted recommendations for development. By identifying specific traits and understanding the strengths and areas for improvement, we can do this. Coming to leadership instrument. A leadership instrument, also known as a leadership assessment or tool, is a structured method or tool used to assess and measure leadership qualities, skills, behaviors, and styles. These instruments are designed to provide individuals and organizations with insights into leadership capabilities and areas for development. Here are a few commonly used leadership instruments like leadership style assessment, and the next is you have personality assessment, 360-degree feedback, emotional intelligence assessment, leadership competency assessment, and so on. So this was about the trait approach. So next, in the same video, that is video 5, we are learning about the skills approach. The skills approach is a leadership theory that focuses on the specific skills and abilities that individuals possess and how those skills contribute for effective leadership. Unlike other leadership theories that emphasize personality trait or behaviors, the skills approach emphasizes the importance of developing and acquiring specific competencies. It also suggests that the leadership skills can be learned and developed through training and experience. It acknowledges that the importance of each skill type varies depending on the level of leadership and the specific organizational context. Technical skills may be more critical for frontline supervisors, while conceptual skills become more important for top executives. Yes. Next, coming to the different types of skills. That is 3-skill approach, which is also known as Katz 3-skill model of leadership. It was developed by Robert Katz. Suggests that effective leaders possess 3 essential skills, that is technical, human, and conceptual skills. This approach suggests effective leadership requires a combination of all these 3 skills, and we'll be learning it in detail. Technical skills refer to the knowledge, expertise, and proficiency performing specific tasks or activities related to a particular field or industry. They are typically acquired through education, training, and experience even. Right? In the context of leadership, technical skills are necessary for leaders to understand and effectively manage the technical aspects of their role. Next, coming to human skills. Human skills, also known as interpersonal or social skills, involve the ability to interact and communicate effectively with others. These skills include empathy, active listening, conflict resolution, team building, and motivating others. Leaders with strong human skills are adept at understanding and managing relationships, building rapport, and creating a positive and collaborative work environment. So human skills are crucial for building trust, resolving conflicts, and inspiring and influencing team members. Strong human skills enable leaders to effectively lead and manage people and build strong relationships within the organization. Next being the conceptual skill. Conceptual skills involve the ability to think strategically, analyze complex situations, and understand the big picture. Leaders with strong conceptual skills can grasp abstract concepts, think critically, and make sound decisions. They have a broad perspective, can anticipate future trends and changes, and can align the organization's goals with its strategic vision. So conceptual skills are particularly important for top level leaders who need to make long-term strategic decisions and to navigate complex and ambiguous working environment, right? So this was about the different types of skills. So next we'll be learning about the skills model in the next video, that is video 6. So we will continue with the skills approach in video 6. Thank you.